y'all. This is B.M.B. Back again. One more time.
Yay.
Yeah, good to see you guys. We got Meldred, Mel-Bone in the house. Brent, aka Bam, in the house. Right there with the PV shirt on. And you got Braxton here, your host or your co-host with these other guys here. So let's go ahead and get started. Y'all, so the first thing I guess we can talk about is the reopening of the country or the economy.
hmm
Um, the White House has laid out a plan. Texas governor is one of the first states that wants to reopen. I think it's about 22 states. We're included in that 22 that wants to be one of the first states to reopen. So the Texas governor also laid out a plan for that. How do y'all feel about that? I think this is actually supposed to start tomorrow. Some state parks are supposed to open.
Now, when they say open, what exactly is it going to be? A limited type of opening, or is it going to be a full blown like malls back open and all that type of stuff?
It's kind
Have
of
they
in
said?
layers. Yeah, it's kind of in layers. So right, like tomorrow with the parks, it's supposed to be like they're supposed to include like social distancing, so you don't have big like gatherings of people. But it's like
Right.
I guess it's limited, like a limited opening.
Because I
So
know some people
parks.
still,
Mhm.
yeah, some people still been going to the park. They've been like, well, go to walk and or exercise, stuff like that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that makes sense. I mean, because you're not in the enclosed area, and
Mhm.
you can definitely space yourself from some people in the inside of a park,
So,
at a
mhm.
park, I should say. But
Stores and retail, I guess that do to go orders are opening up on next Saturday. And then they're
hey,
talking about possible restaurants and theaters opening up Monday around the 27th.
that stuff, I can see a park. I can kind of see maybe a retail shop where uh, where you can go buy some clothing and stuff because people who are still going to work might need to get some work clothes, um, possibly. But with that, you can buy stuff online, and then the workers I guess that would give them some stuff to do while they go back to work. They can gather up the clothing for the person,
Mhm.
bag it up or whatever, and then they can have it like, how like those the pizza companies do. They have like the contactless delivery or
Mhm.
contactless pickup or something like that. I think it's Little Caesars. They have like a pizza portal where they put the pizza inside of a little machine. You come with like your phone or something. You scan it, and it opens the doors, and you just grab your pizza. So they
Mhm.
could possibly do that. They could have like something they can set the clothing in, and people come get it out of there instead of having to go inside the store.
Yeah.
Or if they went inside the store, they could go into how like most stores, you go in, you got like the double doors you go into. They
Mhm.
could have something set up right there where you go in there and just get it and then leave. I mean, I guess that could work, but movie theater and restaurants, nah, well, not quite. Um, in my opinion, I'd say no.
What do you think, Brent? Do you think the if restaurants and movie theaters are not, you know, equipped to open right back up? I think we need more testing before we open up. Like, should more people be
Thank
tested?
you. Thank you. Well, yes, talking
Um,
about only 1% of the population has been tested,
mhm.
and there's 300 and so folk here in America, 300 million.
I was just
And
looking at a stat. Go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was just saying, Governor Cuomo in New York said the reason why the curve is starting to flatten is because we're doing what we're doing. We're staying in. He said, but we need testing. So y'all doing all this opening up, it ain't gonna do nothing but get the numbers back where they were, even higher if you start opening back up, because we don't even have enough testing.
Right.
So all that talk Trump did about there was going to be drive-through testing at Walmart and CVS, that has not happened. The state of California, they received busted ventilators. So half of them are not even working. Governor Cuomo said he's not received. Well, Trump tried to argue with the man that's running the state of New York to tell him you don't need that many ventilators. And so I mean, how can you start opening everything back up if you don't even have enough testing done? So
now I know of one place that was doing kind of like, I guess, kind of a drive-through test. It was it's some place, a clinic I have a friend that worked in a clinic in Round Rock, and she was telling me that they were doing some testing, but she was also saying people were coming to get tested for nonsense reasons, like, oh, I got a headache, I want to come get tested. Oh, I sneezed because I cut some wood and the sawdust made me sneeze. I might have coronavirus. So it was making up reasons to come get tested, and I think that's part of the reasoning why they want limited testing, because they don't want to do all this unnecessary testing. That way they keep the tests for the people who really need to get tested.
Right.
But if we were able to test everybody, I think that it would be a good thing, because that's what the Korean government did. They started to mandatory test, and they was able to separate the confirmed from the non-confirmed.
Right.
And that's how you could truly separate them, is if you know who got it versus you know who don't got it. Everybody who don't got it over here, and everybody who got it over here, and get treated.
Go ahead.
Can I ask you also? I just clicked on the World O Meter. That's a www.worldometer.info, and they keep up with the numbers of what's going on. How is it that we have almost 765,000 cases, and China only had a little bit over 82,000? Is it because of what y'all just said?
It's because of what we said. Yeah, China got real aggressive. They made sure people stayed home, made sure they were tested, and then after that, they made sure the people who had it were isolated and treated.
Right. You said how many cases in China total? 80 what?
It's 80. It's a little bit over 82,000. And where was you saying? What country was you saying that did the
Korea? Yeah.
That was Korea.
South Korea has 10,661 cases.
Here's a stat, because this came across my news feed or in my email. Just, you know what? Here, I'll make it even more relative to us.
Okay.
In the state of Texas is almost 19,000 confirmed cases. Just in the state of Texas.
Right.
And New York was over 242,000 in New York. New Jersey had 85,000, over 85,000. Massachusetts 36, Pennsylvania 32, Michigan 30, California 30, Illinois 29,000. So I mean, they were able to quickly get it, identified and isolate those people, whereas we didn't. America and our government did not act quickly enough.
But we were also kind of like Brent was saying, we've been lied to too. They were saying they had testing, everyone can get a test, when that wasn't true. And so now you got people who may not need it, but I mean, maybe we should be testing more people to see who has it. That way we can isolate them and get the issue fixed. I read another stat too. Texas is actually one of the second lowest states that are testing right now. So not a lot of people in Texas are getting tested, but they want to be one of the first states to open, which is a
now, what
crazy.
sense does that make?
It don't make any sense at all. Because it could get worse with the reopening of some of these, these places like parks and businesses. It can get worse, and Texas become a hotspot.
Right.
So I can agree with some a limited reopening, very limited. For certain things. I could maybe if it's an extremely large park, a park where you can, like you say, if you like a Yellowstone Park, you could be miles away from the next person. So I could see something like that. But if they was trying to say reopen Wilson Park
And just
or
let y'all know,
24th
Wilson
Street
Park,
Park,
right? That's 24th Street Park in Temple, Texas, on the east side, the black side of town. And every Sunday, there's some type of going on over there.
but
Every Sunday.
but yeah, I mean, I can see some a limited, reopening of some things, but
Right.
not as much as you was reading off talking about restaurants and movie theaters and stuff.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense. No.
It doesn't.
Right. And I think even I was looking at the White House, their phase or their plan. The phase one of their plan was to start reopening, like restaurants, sporting venues, gyms, places of worship. In which, I mean, like sporting venues, gyms, things like that, some of the places where a lot of people gather. I'm just kind of with y'all. It's only gonna get back. It's only gonna get worse if we don't, try to control it or mitigate it. I think definitely more testing needs to be done. But,
Yeah.
some of these.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's why I really feel for the people that they have no choice. Frontline workers, they have no choice but to go out and have to go work in this.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting sick, they are dying, and you're gonna make it even worse for them, for the people that have to be out in it.
Right.
And it's already a limited amount of people who are in the medical field. So I mean,
right.
you already got somebody that's working 15, 16 hours a day, and then they're gonna have to turn around and do it again, because there's more cases and more cases coming up.
Right.
Like it's not like it's a whole lot of people who are in the medical field who are who are doing it. So I mean, it's not like they can just tag out to the next person and shift change. Yes, there is a shift change, but it's not like it's not no massive shift change. There's only a limited number of people doing it,
right.
who are in the medical field, I should say.
Don't forget about the grocery store workers.
Yeah, grocery store workers, restaurants, those people, and a lot of those jobs. Remember, I said a lot of those jobs minorities hold, and so they're going to be the ones getting exposed again. Well, I was going to bring up too, even just kind of along with this reopening thing, how it may affect even like our food supply. What's happening in South Dakota, because the governor did not shut down the state. That Smithfield company, that meat company, over 600 of their workers tested positive for coronavirus. Now they're working with people's food. They're already talking about how food is kind of backed up right now because I guess it's so high in demand. You got people who are in need of food who can't get it. You got people in the stores buying up the food. And if you got workers who are working with the food catching this virus, then that's going to contaminate it.
And yet the governor of South Dakota has not put that state as a state.
Hasn't shut it down. Said that if I think the governor was saying that people's liberties are at stake, and that's why they're not shutting the government down.
Liberty.
It says we're giving up a little, giving up our liberties for a little security is what the governor said. Saying I looked at South Dakota's numbers. So the numbers for them, I mean, they only have about 9 people that died. So that may play a part into why the governor hasn't shut the state down. But I'm like, when people's meat and food are being contaminated, because y'all got factories that are still open, then something's wrong. The CDC had to come in.
About that, but look at the other states that are very high. I was listening to the governor of Michigan. She said they're the 10th largest state in the nation, but they are the 3rd largest in the cases of coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
And you have these protesters outside her office, outside the governor's, the state capitol,
Mm-hmm.
protesting, basically saying, give me liberty or give me death and all that. Talking about you're taking away our liberty.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just looking out for the well-being of the people.
Right.
But I'm just like, I mean, I get it and everything, but they're coming out there with Confederate flags.
Yeah, they're talking about other issues. Some people were saying that we're keeping these abortion clinics open, but you can't buy a flag. And I'm like, what kind of sense does that make when there's a pandemic going on, when people are dying from a virus that no one can really understand right now? So,
and I couldn't remember if it was there in Michigan or California, or one of the states where they're protesting. They were kind of compared to Rosa Parks.
They're comparing themselves to Rosa Parks?
They're trying to compare themselves to the civil rights movement,
which is not at all the civil rights movement. Not at all.
There's nothing in comparison to that.
No.
What they were doing, they fighting, but this is a pandemic going on. They're trying to keep your lives in state, trying to keep your lives. What's the word I want to use? Protected. We were fighting for the right to have things for us, as far as voting rights, being treated as equals, not being killed just for being black or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. And then they kind of say this is, it was one person on there that said, I finally see how Rosa Parks felt when they were fighting in the civil rights movement.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
That makes no sense.
No, you can't compare this to the civil rights movement.
A pandemic is something that affects everybody globally. The civil rights movement was something that affected a certain people that were oppressed against from another people. So there's no comparison.
There's no oppression going on.
Right. There's something that's causing sickness, and which in case you need to take certain actions, not versus somebody don't like you because of the color of your skin. Yeah. Like you can't compare the two, because you hate somebody just because of their skin color versus a disease.
Right.
There's one was a choice, the other one is just something that's just happening. There was nobody chose the coronavirus to show up, but there were people who chose to oppress colored folks in America.
And part of it too, the sense of entitlement. If people feel like just because they have the right, it's my rights. I can do what I want. Then they can go out and protest. They can go out and say they want the government to be reopened. It's just entitlement, and it's stupid. It's not smart at all.
Well said.
If you want to protest, you can get your point across by doing other things. You can do stuff on social media. You can make protests or posts on social media.
And you're not doing oppressed because of the color of your skin.
Right. Exactly. You don't want nobody to tell you to stay in the house.
Exactly. You don't want nobody to tell you what to do. You feel like because you have the right that you can just do what you want to do, basically, without any consequences. You don't want to be held accountable. And right now, people are dying, and businesses and other people have to shut down, because we're trying to save people's lives. And people don't want to hear that. When you tell them they can't do something, then they get mad because they feel like they're entitled. We're in America. I can do what I want. I can say what I want. No, it doesn't work like that. And I mean, you can die too, because that's what's going to happen.
Right.
People out there protesting and not practicing social distancing.
You're right. I guess you feel entitled about something. You can't tell me what I can do. How dare you? I don't care though. I don't care what's going on. It could be Armageddon outside, and they say stay inside. I'm going out there. I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Dadgummit.
That one protest led to a bunch of other protests. Then Trump had to butt in. you know, because those are basically
Liberations.
his supporters. So he's got to show support for them because he wants to get their vote, you know, in this new election.
To me, when he said that liberations to Michigan, let me put. I got to read that one thing he said that I was like, wow. He said, and this is him tweeting: "Liberations, Virginia, and save your great Second Amendment. It is under siege." And then he did another tweet: "Liberations, Michigan, liberations, Minnesota." So this man is basically almost provoking war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's stirring it up. He's stirring it up.
Yeah.
Stirring the pot. And
he doesn't want to take the blame for anything. He doesn't want.
No, not at all.
He's putting it all on the governors, all on the states, so he can be the scapegoat. So if things go right, he'll get the credit because he laid out a phase plan for them. If things don't go right, they'll get the blame because he put it in their hands. He told them that, hey, they're in control. They can make decisions. So
right.
I don't feel like he's a true leader. He can't take a stand on one side or the other, and he just kind of goes with wherever his base goes.
Right.
He's more of a follower than a leader to me. So I don't understand how people can even vote for him.
Can you say that again, Braxton?
Yeah, I'm just saying he's more of a follower than a leader to me. He kind of goes with the wind wherever his base goes. You know, whatever they tell him to do, he's going to do it. If he sees them, you know, protesting these things, I just don't. He's just not a leader. Not at all. It shouldn't be president.
Trump?
Not to me.
You about to say something, Mildred?
No, I was saying because when I was talking about, you know, people protesting and people wanting to go outside and stuff, I saw an image. I'll pull it up. Maybe I can pull it up and I can send it to you, and you can post it.
What is it?
It was saying that if you could see the virus, would you still go outside? Like if you could see it floating in the air. Like, would you still go outside? Like if you were able to physically see it, you wouldn't go outside. You'd be like, oh snap, there it is right there. You didn't close the door. You didn't lock all your windows. You didn't try to do everything.
And it's funny you said that, Braxton and Mildred are talking about how Trump not taking responsibility. In November 23rd, 2009, Trump tweeted Obama's handling of this whole pandemic has been terrible, bigly terrible. As president, all responsibility becomes yours during a crisis like this. Really? Whether or not you're entirely to blame, John McCain, and for what it matters, would have never let thousands of Americans die from a pandemic while in office. Bigly. Well, the bigly ain't in there, but he tweeted that November 23rd at 3:32 p.m. on November 23rd, 2009.
Wow, that should be over. That should be on all the news stations, like everywhere.
He tweeted that. Tweeted that. But I also got some numbers, and it is saying COVID-19 has affected the African American community. African American community accounts for more than 1/3 of COVID-19 deaths in the U.S., where the race of victims has been made publicly known. Data from states, cities, and counties show Black people are regular to contract the disease. And please forgive me while I was reading. I was trying to read that too fast. So we've been talking about Michigan, and it says when the rates of COVID-19 fatalities are known in states, Black people account for, in Michigan, 858 of 1,821 deaths. In the state of New York, 449 of 534 deaths. So, I mean, these are just examples of some states where they're finally getting data of how we're being affected by the disease. And it's saying that we are making up 1/3 of the COVID-19 deaths.
Yeah.
And, oh my goodness. Oh, people just stay inside as much as you can. And for the workers, they have to go out because you have no choice but to work. Take the precautions that you need just to be safe and try to remain safe. And just know that people, they are praying for your safety while we're going through this. And there are other people that are putting your lives in danger and don't care because they want their liberty to go out. So you gotta stay protected. Wow. In Georgia, 319 of 583 deaths. We got 319 of the deaths.
Yeah. That's a lot.
That's really.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. But Braxton, you also said it. We can sometimes be our own worst enemy. Can we talk about real quick the stimulus checks?
Okay. Yeah.
Have y'all gotten y'all?
I got mine in
okay.
Yeah. Got mine.
Mel?
I told him to send it back. I don't want no money from him. No, yeah, I think just about everybody has gotten theirs because
I ain't got mine.
No, not yet.
Yours probably come next. You get in the mail.
Oh yeah, you getting it in the mail. That's right.
You probably get that next month.
You would have it already if you did.
If I did direct deposit instead of listening to certain folks saying get the check, don't let the government get your banking information.
They already got it.
They already can get it. So
if the IRS, if they got it. Oh boy,
yeah, if you owe them money, they can find you.
if the check can find you, they can find you.
Oh, yeah. You better believe they can get into that bank account if you need.
Well, and then I keep trying to go on the website to see if I can set up for direct deposit. That's down.
Do you see it coming? Do you see where it's like how long?
No, what it's saying is they're not able to find, based off the information that I typed in, they're not able to. I'm saying I'm not eligible for. And just to let you know, just because if many of you, if you're having that same problem that I'm having, where it's saying that not finding your eligibility for the check, it's because, I mean, the system is down right now because I think they're serving 150 million people with the check. They're not taking phone calls. They're not even taking phone calls. And they said within 3 weeks they're going to send a letter explaining if you hadn't received anything or if you hadn't received the right amount. Oh, this is another good thing. If you owe back taxes, you'll still get your check. Now, if you owe back child support, you're not getting your check.
Oh. If you owe back taxes, you still get it, but back
if you owe back taxes, you'll still get your check. But if you owe back child support, you're not getting your check.
But you might have struck a nerve on that one. Might have struck a little nerve.
Yeah, when I found that out, I said, "Oh Lord, there's gonna be a lot of brothers out here ain't gonna be getting their check."
Well, there's a lot of stuff they can't do. You can't go renew no driver's license, no identification card. You can't get no passport. Wow. You can't do a lot of stuff because if you owe back child support. So I guess it's all right to owe back taxes, but they just gonna add that $1,200 onto the back taxes. You just gonna owe $1,200 more on top of them, whatever else you owe. Yeah, we give you this money. Now you got to pay this money back even more.
But if you got back child support, sorry, brother.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Or I mean, there's some dudes out here that doing the right thing. They taking care of the baby, but the baby mama just got that dysfunction with them, and they just trying to make them pay for it.
Yeah, they'll make it hard on them. Sure.
They just making it harder for the brother, and they trying to do the right thing. So That's a entirely different show. So maybe we can make a whole show out of that.
Make a show out of that.
Yeah, talking about child support and women's and what the brother got to deal with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hadn't received mine yet, and I tried to do the direct deposit thing, but that part saying it's down. So you just have to continue to wait. There's no information more that I can give you on that. You're just gonna have to continue to wait for it, and then you will receive a letter because oh yeah, there's another thing I forgot. If you had somebody else prepare your taxes, and some of them that prepared your taxes, like a lot of people that you want to receive the money right then, like you go to like H&R Block and you want to receive it right now instead of waiting for it to come direct deposit.
Yeah, that front you the money. They'll put the money on the card.
You're not gonna get your stimulus check because the account that they put is going to whoever you let do your taxes for you.
Is that so? I saw that on Facebook. Someone had posted some one of those tax offices where there's a lot of people out waiting, trying to get their money. And the guy left, and then I don't know if he came back. Said he's coming back.
Right.
So if you do your taxes through someone else, they get the check.
They gonna get it because, like Mel just saying, they fronting you your tax money right now. Yeah, you excited you got your tax refund right now, but with the stimulus check, they're looking at what records they have for you for your direct deposit, and that's where that money went. And it may not have your information in there. So you got to be careful with all that kind of stuff. So now we can get to the you fool moment. What we gonna talk about, Braxton?
We can talk about that the race car driver using the N-word, Kyle Larson. So fired by his NASCAR team for using the N-word during a virtual race. Lost some endorsements as well. And they just saying he was supposed to be some sponsorships. He was supposed to be a pretty big free agent going in, I guess, to this year.
Right.
Before
and he lost all of it.
Yeah, and so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it just seems like it's like bro, you're a professional racer. Like, what are you doing?
And when he said it he said it like he used that word
like
on
he
the record.
probably was with his Well, did he say it like he was like
buddies?
Buddies, yeah.
Right, like with his buddies.
Yeah.
Because when they were playing, and he was, I guess, trying to get somebody's attention. He said, "Hey, nigger." And all of them was just like, "Oh," he said, "We were live," and he was like, "Oh shoot." And
that was it.
That happened on one day. His sponsorships canceled on the next day, and then he made that apology video. By that time, it was too late.
Yeah, they were showing.
And I saw he called the only other black driver that's a NASCAR driver trying to explain it to him.
Yeah.
And he heard him, but he said, "I'm not gonna make no excuse for you. You said that's." He basically said that's on you.
That's on
man.
you. Yeah. You can't make that right. And you're a professional. Like you got to do better than that.
Right. You got So
you got to do better.
Trying to look up.
There was I know McDonald's was one of his sponsorships that he lost. But there was one sponsor that actually said they're going to give him another chance. So they feel like he's still a young man. He just made a mistake. And so,
I think it's only one. He only got that one sponsorship left. Everybody else done dropped.
Everybody else dropped him,
And then you got them two other in Georgia, in Carrollton, Georgia, that I know everybody saw this, where when you pour something in the sink, it's supposed to be for positivity. Did y'all see that?
Is it like a challenge that people are doing?
Well, like they said, how to build a black man. You pour and it's in this. You write a little word in the sink, on a piece of paper in the sink. You pour wisdom, knowledge, wealth, a good man. It was something for positive, supposed to be positive. Well, these two white Georgia students. He said,
That's what I was trying to find.
Oh, okay.
I was looking for the video, but I can't find it now. I had it at one point in time. I don't know where it's at. But yeah, go ahead.
But these two students, they wanted to basically, they said, we're gonna show you how to make and I hate to say it like this, but a nigger. And that's how they said it. He said, no dad. And then when what was it? I can't remember all the verbiage that they used, but it was all negative verbiage, like no dad in the home, always in jail, don't take care of their kids. And it's water in these cups. It's water in the cup. But when they got to the cup of wisdom, the dude poured it out. He said, oh, there's nothing in there. No, there's no wisdom. Like we don't have wisdom or something. So both those kids have been expelled.
Yeah.
The superintendent, I can't remember the name of the school, but it's on our page. I posted on our page.
Okay.
And the young lady that was making a video, the college that she was accepted in, she's not no longer being accepted at that college. And everything that they wanted to do is pretty much canceled. And I got it right here. Here it is. Carrollton High School. And the student's name was Stephanie Freeman and Jeffrey Hum. Jeffrey Hum. I can't pronounce his name. But yep, they were using the N-word and this spiel that they were doing.
Yeah.
But I got the video that I had. They didn't got it taken down.
Yeah.
That might be the reason why. That might be why I can't find it.
That might be why you can't find it now, Milton, because they already took it down.
Yeah.
And there was a young African American lady. She had reposted it and told them their name. And then Stephanie posted on her page saying, please take this video down. She said, oh, no, I'm not. We're finna get you caught up for who you really are.
Oh,
and I think she was a student at Carrollton High School.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm glad they posted it.
I'm glad she
identified every one of them.
Identified them, got their names out there, Stephanie and Jeffrey. So.
Yeah.
And other stuff going on. I know y'all heard about everybody pop. Mel, did you see that Teddy Riley and Babyface?
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to see the live video. What I saw was the memes and the videos that people did. Because Kev on stage did one.
Yeah, that
was because the sound was terrible. And everything. I guess everything just shut off. He was like, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" Like, we got some technical difficulties. And then I went to his Instagram, and he made I guess he did like a little small video apologizing. He said
both of them did.
And so they said they're gonna do it again.
Teddy did, but okay, this is my thing, because I saw, if anybody knows anything, my favorite genre of music is New Jack Swing. And both Teddy Riley is the creator of New Jack Swing, and Babyface is just one of the greatest songwriters during that era, during modern day music. I mean, dang, the Bobby Brown album, one of the greatest R&B albums of the late 80s. L.A. Reid and Babyface produced and wrote most of the songs, and Teddy Riley don't get credit for this, but he wrote My Prerogative. Yeah. If you hear it in the song, he said, Babyface, I mean, not Babyface, but Bobby Brown gave credit to Teddy in the song. So anyway, back to what I was saying was, I mean, boy, everybody was just going in on them. And I was there from the beginning. And Teddy Riley had everything set up, what he was going to do, and they were just waiting for Babyface to come in. And I think the little bit Teddy Riley was doing, he sounded good until Babyface clicked over. Then that's when that echo started happening. But the connections that Babyface had was perfect. His sound was perfect. Everything he was doing was perfect. The music that he was playing was it sounded good, but Teddy Riley and everybody said he was doing too much, but that's just how Teddy Riley performs. I mean, you couldn't hear. It was an echo. You couldn't hear Teddy talking to Babyface, and then finally Babyface was just like, "Man, we're gonna have to do this some other time," because this will be their third time having to reschedule, because first time they had to reschedule because Babyface had corona. So he was finally getting over that, and you could still kind of see it in his voice. It still sounded like he wasn't feeling too good, but I mean, he was trying to be there to entertain the people. But you know, I guarantee you this: the next time they do it, they had 400 up to 420,000 people watching them on Instagram.
Yeah,
The next time they do it, I bet you it's gonna be well over 2 or 3 million people gonna probably be watching.
now
Just
I
to
don't
see
know.
what's gonna happen.
Now there's another one. It may be all connected, because I heard about Timberland and Swizz Beatz are supposed to be getting together and doing something. And now they say there's a few networks reached out to them to try to put what they're doing on a TV show, but they said no.
Right.
And so I'm guessing when they said no, they probably had something even bigger planned to do.
Right.
And so you got that. You get those. You got two super producers. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, what they're doing with this, it's neat, and it's keeping people entertained, which will also take their minds off of having
The
to
pandemic.
be in the house and right there. So yeah, it's a good
I
idea.
was hoping, if because Braxton does deal with everything with the connection. I was just kind of hoping he probably saw it and just was able to say, what did Babyface do that was right, because he had sounded perfect, and what was Teddy doing? His part was just. I don't want to disrespect Teddy, because that's my man. I love Teddy Riley. I love his music and everything. So, I'm not gonna bad talk Teddy Riley. It's just something that happened, and when they do it again, I bet you everything's gonna be perfect. The sound is gonna be beautiful. The music gonna be popping, and it's gonna be a good time. Just like when you hear D Nice. But with D Nice, it's just one connection. It's just him, getting his connection out to, I guess, us. What they were doing, it was two-way connection. I really don't know nothing about that stuff. That's your thing, Braxton.
Yeah, I have to look at it. I was just kind of based on what you were telling me. I'm just wondering if, I don't know. Sometimes if you have like a lot of some speakers in the room, you got microphones, all those kind of set up, and sometimes you get feedback. And so I don't know how to set. I have to go back and look and see how they had it set up. It could be feedback, but you would think them being in the business as long as they have, they would. If it was feedback, they would have fixed it, or no.
Right. Or they possibly could have did a sound check before they got started with this, just to make sure this wouldn't have happened. Yeah. Just like they do before they get ready to do a concert.
Right.
Yeah. Oh. You had probably your biggest audience you ever had, 420,000 people. But like I said, when they do it again, they're gonna make sure every I is dotted, every T is crossed. It's gonna be good. So yeah. But before we leave for the night, y'all, Mel, Brad, let me ask y'all this: do y'all believe in conspiracy theories?